So I got a great story this weekend.
Awesome. It's fucking awesome. Excited.
It's about fantasy. It's about fantasy football, though.
That's how I play fantasy football.
Well, you lie to yourself and tell you it's awesome.
Well, I'm just.
And it's not. Well, no,
Go ahead.
it's not. It's not. It's not about fantasy football itself.
It's about the camaraderie around. Good feeling.
Right.
Bits of
See,
cheer. I'm doing terrible
but
because
it's
my
also-
quarterback got injured and I just have like no quarterback, so I can't win. It's horrible.
Right. This one deals with Jason Korber, so
Oh my god.
you know it's going to be good.
Oh yeah.
Grandpa Corber.
Yeah.
Oh, Larry's on shit. We can start early. Oh my god. If Larry can give me a mic check.
Check. Mic check.
Me.
Be quiet.
Sorry.
I don't care anymore. No one needs to hear Larry at full volume. It's not necessary.
It might.
Nobody needs to hear Larry. What period? Oh,
God damn.
Hashtag TrueStory.com.
Just right.
I'm glad Larry.
Right in.
Larry,
What did I do?
I'm glad you made it, Larry,
Well, thank you.
because you have something to do with. I have to ask you.
Oh boy.
Oh,
sorry.
Jesus. We'll get it going. Here we go. We're going to start.
Sorry.
November 12th, 2017. Y'all are listening to What's Happening in Cleveland with your host, Kevin Baird.
Brian Baird.
Don Anderson.
And from Cleveland, Ohio, Larry Mack.
And we're back. We weren't on last week because there was a storm. And it
Kevin
wasn't...
gets us scared.
It wasn't that bad, like, sounding, but when I went outside the next day, like, there were all these trees down and bodies everywhere.
Yeah, it sounded a lot like it was like a lot worse than it really was. Because that's all I heard on the fucking.
I went to go drop my daughter off today, and they had a little trampoline in their yard. I was like, "You guys get a trampoline?" She goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Wow, why'd you get a trampoline?" She goes, "Well, we woke up, it was in the yard."
Yeah, it was crazy. I guess they were saying like maybe a tornado had touched down in Strongsville, and it was funny because I looked at my phone, and it was like there's a tornado warning, which is like the one where they've seen the tornado, you know, and it's like this will expire at like 6:36, and it was like 6:37 when I was looking at it. I was like, so I could be dead. I could be dead right now, and this is completely pointless. Like, thank you for not alerting me to whatever was going on. Cleveland's really not good with the tornado predictions. I've come to realize that. That one in Brunswick they didn't predict. I mean, it only knocked over somebody's shed, I think, at one point.
Well, see, I don't know that it's they're bad at predicting them. I think it's they never actually happen here. So as soon as something gets knocked down in a high wind, they're like, "Oh, we had a tornado."
Yeah.
Because that's
possible.
it's like the weather people trying to justify their existence. Because like weather-wise, shit doesn't happen here. Like we get blizzards. That's about it.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't even really. We get blizzard-like conditions. They always throw that.
Yeah, I
like
mean, it's
in
been a
there.
while since we have a good blizzard.
Right. Yeah. It's like
Global warming.
not much. We get flooding. We get a lot of flooding. There's always like this danger of you just being in your car and being washed away by some flood.
Yeah, like when I lived over on the east side in Slavic Village for a while. For those of you who don't know Cleveland, over on the east side, we got this stretch of highway that somebody at some point decided it made perfect sense to stick basically in a very narrow valley. So we have this stretch of highway that just floods anytime it rains even a little bit. Like to the point where like cars disappear in this thing.
Yeah, I mean they were rescuing people off the highway or something. They were like, "I was about to drown." And I was thinking, were you really about to drown in your car?
Dude, I'm telling you, that stretch of 77 right by like Newburgh Heights,
Yeah.
it's like 10 feet below ground level. Like no one thought maybe that might be a problem.
Isn't that where you used to live?
10 feet below, yeah. Water level, ground level, yeah. That'd be weird. You're just driving
It's tunnel.
underground. Yeah. You do a thing. All right, let's catch up with everybody. Brian, all right, stop playing your game for a minute. Press pause. Pause your game. You still with us, Brian? Okay. Don,
Hey,
you want to go ahead and
See-
tell us how your week went?
they lost. Yeah, I was lost there for a second too, but now I'm back. Okay. Yeah, it was a great week. That was a great week. I got I went to work the other day, and they have this thing. You got servers and food runners. There's a difference. Servers work the tables. Food runners run food, and they have this ongoing contest with whoever runs the food the fastest gets to pick their own shift for the following week.
So they're just throwing it through the window in the back.
They're just like, hey, whoever gets it, hey, you're the best guy there is. And it's like, well, that's not true. Because it's not.
Doesn't quality just kind of suffer when they're just running out to the table, throwing the plates down really quick?
Right, not even seeing if it's like the right ones.
They chuck the plate at him from across the room.
They're just dropping a
stuff
stack of plates right on the table.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so it turns out the boss tells me, he's like, hey, you won. He's like, you win. There goes Brian. He's like, you've won and you get to pick your shift next week. What shift do you want? And I'm like, I don't care. Just put me on the schedule. I'm like, I don't, it doesn't matter to me when I work. I just need to work. So how about just put me on the schedule, whatever you want. And then I looked at him and I said, but don't give me this shift or this shift, because there's some stations I don't like.
Right.
So what does he do?
Those.
He gives me a double of the station that I didn't want. And I'm just like, he's like, there you go. I hooked you up. And I was like, no, you didn't. You screwed me. Like, it's not what I want to do. And so I had to, so there's that. So I got to deal with that. And the thing is there's not enough shifts going around now. So I have to take whatever they give me, because if I can't just drop it because there's nothing else to take. So there's that going on. And then I had a little bit of fantasy football drama this week.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is good. Larry, you're into fantasy football, correct?
Not really.
Okay, then go fuck yourself.
I mean, I'm familiar with it. I've played it. I'm not playing this year, but
Well, you've watched the league.
well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love
Okay, so this will work for you. So we're playing it. I got this league going on, and it's got like all the normal characters. Clint's in there, Korber's playing, Gilly, Melville, like guys you got. Half you guys know.
Yeah.
And so Korber's in third place in the whole league. Top 6 go to the playoffs, and he tries to make a trade with Melville, who's in 7th place out of the 8th place out of the playoffs and losing.
Okay.
And he wants to trade. Jason Korver's giving up Matt Ryan for Tom Brady straight up.
Okay.
And I said, that's not an even trade. It's not a fair trade. Tom Brady's a way better quarterback than Matt Ryan, because he is. He's got 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, compared to Matt Ryan's like 12 touchdowns and like 7 interceptions.
Right.
And I'm like, that's not fair. That's collusion. That's the guy in the bottom giving up his. Yeah, it is. It's the guy at the bottom giving. He's like, I don't have a chance. Take all my best players. You go and try to win. So it's kind of like cheating, because, that's not fair. Well, no, I don't care. I'm out of the playoffs anyways. I don't give a shit.
Don't you guys have like no trades though on certain players? Like
that's what you should be.
Right.
That's what it should.
Right.
If your first round player, you shouldn't be able to trade him, and that was Melville's first pick. So I'm like, no, I disallow it. I said, you can't have. I vetoed it because I'm the commissioner.
Right.
I rule with an iron fist, right? So I vetoed it. Melville calls me, says, hey, man, who vetoed that? I go, I did. I don't think it was fair as the commissioner. I don't think it was fair with the stats and the points and da-da. He goes, all right, I'll take that. And I'm like, okay, good. Korber flipped his shit. He's texting me, who did this? And I said, I did it. And he's like, what? Why did you do that? This isn't fair. And I said, well, let me see if I can find this here. Here it is. He's like, I said, yeah, I vetoed it. It wasn't fair in my opinion. He goes, well, that's bullshit in my opinion. The one time I have a chance to win instead of the same people winning all the time, you're not getting any money from me. I'm done.
Hey, man, this is football. It's always the same teams that win. Come on.
Right? And so, well, not even that. It's just whoever drafts the better players. That's all. So I'm like, whatever. If you would have had bench players, I gave them all the stuff. I said, if you would have done this, I would have okayed it. I said, just turn around and go change it. Go change it and do it again, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, throw
Do
something
what
else
you
in
want. Yeah. Make it. I said I would do that. And then I asked him, I was like, would you do it if you were if you were losing and had Brady? And he goes, if I was losing and didn't have a chance, yeah, I would, to help someone out. I was trying to win. You're being biased because you're in the hunt, and that's totally unfair, in my opinion. And it's like, everybody in the league's in the hunt. It's not just me. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm below everybody. I'm the worst. You know, it's like, this is my league. What are you talking about? So he flipped out and left, dumped all his players, or half his players, to the waiver wire so that anybody could pick them up. Completely ruined everything about the whole year, about the whole season. Ruined because I didn't allow a trade for him. And he's just like, whatever. He's like a 5-year-old. So I had to put up with that. But luckily, I'm the commissioner, so I got special powers. I just took over his team. I'm just running it for him. And then I'm hoping I'm going to trade my good players to his team, make his team win, and then call him up and be like, "Hey, man, thanks a lot for letting me win the Super Bowl."
Yeah, that'll go over well.
Yeah.
I'm sure next year he'll be lining himself up just to.
Oh, there will be no next year for him. He's done.
Oh, okay.
He's
The
done.
letter be written, so shall it be done.
I don't take that.
Send Moses into the desert.
He was the one making the jokes at the beginning of the season, saying, "Oh, Holiday's going to be the first one to flip out. He's going to be the first one to melt down. He won't last the whole season."
Well, I mean that does have some fact behind it. I mean,
it does. It's just funny that he's now the one that flamed out.
Right.
That's it. That's all I
was
got.
your week.
I don't think I got anything.
There's 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I got other stuff with. Oh, there was 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks of stuff.
I went to Adams and did a live Facebook video from Adams' porch.
Oh my God.
Last
I
one of
saw
the
that
season.
was coming up, but I had other shit.
Yeah, well, more important probably, which would be
Likely.
pretty much that. Which means basically you had to pee, or you had to go to bed,
Look
or
up
something.
from something I was doing. I went,
Right.
right
So
back.
you didn't miss nothing, anyways. It was just a fire and us ripping on Adam. So there you go. That was my week.
Packers went on that Kiss cruise, and I was just thinking, do you like wake up every morning to like, I want to rock and
Kiss.
roll and party every day,
Yeah.
whatever.
3 bands that work different shifts.
Just constantly playing the same song.
Yeah, same racket over and over.
Is Kiss even on the Kiss cruise? Do they show up for anything?
Yeah. Well, that's why they're there. They play.
Oh, do they? I
It's
don't
not like them though.
I don't know anything about it.
That's all right.
Bunch of old men in a boat
Yeah, I mean, right.
and their bored wives.
If it was the
man
70s
in a
Kiss, it'd be
boat.
cool. But,
I'm sure they look 70s. They're probably in their 70s.
Right. They are. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, they're getting old. Everybody's getting old.
All right, Brian,
Kevin.
let's hear about your last 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, I had to drive through snow. Wasn't a big deal, but it was sort of like, the first snow of the year for everybody else. It's like, oh, look, it's so magical. And truck driving is like, oh, shit, here we go. It's begun. Oh, shit. It came down pretty hard. I was like, just south of Flint. And, it was snowing like pretty hard. It was still too warm for it to stick. So you're not real worried about it, but it still sucks. Other than that, that was like the only real bad weather that I hit, except for the perpetual rain we seem to have forever. And finally that let up, and it's been nothing but sunny fall days. All the days I've been working. That's when it's not pitch black at nighttime and shit. It just seems like now that we're getting close to like the end of the year, as is usual every year. I'm not like it's a big surprise. You're like, oh my God, did you guys ever notice how it's always darker and darker? It's not like that. It's
Oh my God, it's so dark out.
yeah, it's wow. Just same time of year all the time. Somebody should
God.
look into it.
It's cold outside.
I'm sure somebody on Facebook will never put one of those things up that says fall isn't always that, or you think fall is always dark and this is why you're wrong, or some shit, because it's just always the crap you got to read on that. But anyway, let me see. I've watched a couple of movies that came out, mostly iTunes type stuff. I posted one today, Blade of the Immortal, based off the manga, comic, or whatever. I saw the preview for it a couple months ago, and it's over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours 15 minutes or something, long. And I wasn't disappointed, but for anybody who's interested in it, it is a little slow at parts. There's some conversation that does take place. It's just not one huge battle that goes on the entire time. So Kevin, you'll have no interest. For the rest of you actually like plot. You'll probably enjoy it.
So it's
Let me
boring.
see. There's parts that are kind of slow. The Villain. I watched The Villainous, which is from where I read it was how Quentin Tarantino got kind of the idea for Kill Bill, and you could totally see it in the movie. Like, I'm not certain if it's actually true because you're reading it off the internet, so who knows how fucking true that crap is. But for what it was, it's you're watching it like it's a lot of action. If you want to know what the movies that I'm talking about are about, just go online and read about it because I'll just butcher it. But because it's the original version and from Asia, of course. I don't want to say Japan because I'll probably fuck it up, and it's probably China for all I know. But it's good, but there's just parts where you're gonna go, huh? There's gonna be some parts that are just not gonna make a whole lot of fucking sense. They may make sense to you. I won't lie and say that occasionally I wasn't carrying around my iPad watching a movie and then would like try to make myself a drink and I may have like skipped over something, but because on occasion shit does move a little quick. I won't lie. Let me see what else. And then today, yesterday I watched Mayhem, which has the Asian guy who died on The Walking Dead. His name I cannot remember. But he was really good. It's like a horror/comedy flick where people are stuck in this office and there's some sort of virus that gets released. Of course, it's not a real virus, so people can calm down before they go, it's not real, they're lying. And basically it makes all your inhibitions just go away. So if you're really sad, you'll end up killing yourself. You're really angry about something, and it's like a high power office of legal people. So needless to say, they're kind of already on edge, very cutthroat. And then it's just like, it's the movie was basically somebody's wish fulfillment. But it was still pretty good. It was pretty entertaining. Just people who work in an office. It's kind of funny to me to watch, come in and see how people's, obviously I don't walk in offices where suddenly plagues are released where they get to go ape shit, but at least I don't think I do.
They might.
I don't work with other people except on occasion where I have to get on my truck and interact with them, and I do that as little as possible because I want to immediately get back in the truck and leave as quick as I can because I don't want to talk. But so it's always interesting to see how supposedly even over the top how office people are supposed to react towards one another, and they just freak out in this, but otherwise I found it pretty entertaining. And Christmas is coming up in a month or so.
What'd you do for Halloween?
I had to work, so there was no Halloween. I had to get up the next day at like 12:30 in the morning, so that was that.
There was no Halloween.
There isn't for me. I mean, for everybody else.
There's no Halloween. Get away. Go on. There's no Halloween in this house.
Yeah, I don't take the kid trick-or-treating, apparently. She came home with loot, which I thieve every so often, and then she chases me around the house. It's fun. Which I've done for years. And,
father stealing his kid's Halloween candy. What's the matter with you?
Our parents did the same thing. Oh, look, there's a pinhole. I got to get rid of it. I had a dream that Kevin and I were little kids, except Kevin, I was told that he's not my brother. Stop calling him that. He's my sister.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was really weird because in dreams, you've got no control over that shit. But I thought, I'm like, that's not, it's Kevin. He's my brother. No, that's your sister. And
then Brian was trying to hump me.
It was obviously not, no, we were like little kids. And it was like, obviously it wasn't really you in the dream. It was some chick. But in the dream, it's technically you, because you have no, there's no reality whatsoever.
Think about me. It's fine.
Yeah, so when I think about you, Kevin, I think it's like Kevin's a woman,
a young child of a woman, yeah,
a little girl,
yeah,
whiny,
yeah.
That high pitched voice you had as a kid probably didn't help.
With people of authority telling you so.
It's always shocking if you hear Kevin or my voice when we were really young, because obviously we were younger and our voices were not the
balls didn't drop.
Yeah, the now that we have now, so then you hear us on like some old cassette tape. It's like, hi, hey, we're gonna get together.
I don't know. You must have those cassette tapes. I don't.
I hope I do. I really hope I do, because I'd like to be able to publish them someday.
Sertron that fell in the toilet 5 times.
And still worked, as opposed to like an iPhone where you get a drop of rainwater. It's like, and that's it.
Those really cheap cassette tapes that you tried to record over a second time, and then when you play it back, you could still hear the music playing.
Oh yeah. It's like having oh wow, it's like almost like a movie, And then that never worked. What else did I watch? I watched The Arrival, where squids basically landed and then tried to talk, and it's really slow. I enjoyed it just because I thought it was an interesting take on the genre, but it had a lot of chick stuff in it, which I thought kind of like I understood why it was in the movie, but I also thought it just made it slower than it really needed to be. It was already slow to begin with. They tried to make it like, well, here's some tense moments, so it was like a kind of a cookie cutter. But I did think the aliens were interesting, and like I haven't actually seen anybody do that before. And I don't think I would have lasted 10 seconds where I would have saw like some 20-foot tall floating squid thing that just was like, I went, hair turned gray, just died right there.
You should watch A Dark Song.
A Dark Song?
Yeah, it's new. It's
Was it on Netflix or Amazon?
I think you got paid for it.
All right.
But if it comes out eventually, watch it, because it's about this woman who wants to talk to her dead son. So she enlists this guy, and they start going through this whole like ritual in order to like
A Dark Sun?
A Dark Song.
Oh, Dark Song.
And they they're doing all this like evil shit in order to like make this shit happen. And then it gets really weird at the end, but it's really good.
Oh yeah, I see it's on iTunes. I'll give it a look.
It's good. You'd like it. It's good.
Oh yeah, I mean, but there's like a lot of movies out like that where it's typically that's the kiss of death for me, where I'll see the intro and it's like a grieving couple like out.
No, it's not. It's not like that. At all.
No interest.
It's not. Yeah. It's not like that at all. You got to watch it. It's really fucked up, is what it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cover and it's some chick in her underwear and a guy's rubbing oil on her back. So I can see I'm in. That's all I needed to see, really.
Well,
an unholy alliance between two damn damaged souls. Oh, for fuck's sake!
I'm telling you, it's not a bunch of crying and shit. There's like no.
Yeah, because
there's no crying. I'm telling you right now. It's
that was like that. It was like that Antichrist movie with Willem Dafoe, and as soon as I see him in anything these days, like every third movie that he's in, even I don't know how old that guy is, but they're still ripping his clothes off and he's banging some broad.
That's Lars von Trier. That's some weird fucking.
Oh my god, I had no idea. I watched it and I'm like, might as well just maybe if I watch it, they'll stop trying to stuff it down my throat on everything I'm looking at. I just assumed that if you do that, the commercials go away. And I watched it. It was actually there's some really fucked up moments, man. Yeah. Jesus.
That goes with Melancholia and like two other movies that Lars von Trier was doing about depression.
Yeah. Other than that, just playing still Diablo 3, and I got to like Paragon status, which is nothing new at all. But they did open up some news, like they're new to me. Some zones I hadn't been in before. And I'm like, oh, this I haven't explored out here. I'm playing the Necromancer, so you can bring back just about anything that you killed, which is kind of helpful. Just only bring back an army that was trying to destroy you and turn them against your enemies. Plus, you're draining their souls, or blood, or whatever. The fucking gory bullshit they got in there. Like that game is sort of like either you're doing really well or you're just getting smoked. Like I've got what is it? Yeah, I played the Barbarian for a while. That just gets to be such a pain in the ass. Because you can only really attack like one thing at a time, and there's just too much shit in that game that can just like keep knocking you back. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't hit shit. Meanwhile, these other ones can like raise an army, like destroy my pretties, and they just fly it, whatever the fuck you're fighting. And Elder Scrolls still, and that's pretty much family stuff. Boring.
Okay.
Old man lifestyle.
Larry, how was your last 2 weeks?
Shitty. So let's see, last 2 weeks.
Would you mean free?
It was Halloween, and then
officially burned out at work. But I mean, we do those stories every week. So let's see. Oh, I went to visit my friends at the child support agency because
oh god, you're not done with that yet.
Well, like now I'm receiving. Well,
in theory,
allegedly.
Yeah,
theoretically. And I got this notice saying, "Hey, we're letting you know that your ex-wife now has medical insurance available, so now she has to carry medical insurance. So blah blah blah." And I was like, "Whoa. I already have it." So I went to their website and I was like, "Hey, I already have it. I really don't want her to provide it because we spent 2 years with me paying for half of this when she wasn't providing it anyway. So I just want to do it. I got this. It's fine." And of course they don't respond, so I went down to the office and, showed him. I was like, I got this form, and the chick at the desk is like reads it over and calls somebody. She's like, she'll be right down. And so the caseworker comes down a little while later, and she's like pulled the file, and she's got everything all highlighted. And I was like, okay, we're gonna get this squared away. And she starts explaining it to me, and she's like, well, as you can see in the amended order, they factored in this much for you, and that's for the health insurance, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and unfortunately, if you want to get that changed, you're going to have to go back in front of the judge. And I was like, I don't want to change it. And she looks at me like, what? she called and said, you wanted you wanted the mother to be paying for child or for the health care. I was like, no. This letter says you guys wanted to pay for the health care, and I'm already doing it. And she's like, that's not what that says. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is what this says. And she looks at it. She's like, hold on. Where's it saying that? I like show her like the second paragraph, and she's looking at it. She's like, oh. And she like scribbles out Vicky's name and writes in mine. She's like, yeah, that's oops.
That's hilarious.
And I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, so like when somebody shows up at my door because I'm now in like contempt of court, can I just show them that you scribbled out the name?
Yeah, that sounds very legal.
And like I'm good, or she's like, no, that's fine. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Seems legit to me. See what else. Get over here at my calendar to see what I missed. Oh, so yeah, so Susie and I and half of Kevin busted out the trivia this week. Kevin wandered in for like the last question or something.
Just to derail it, just to completely make us loose. That's what I'm there for.
Yeah. He's all like, I gotta vote stuff.
I get out at 6. The trivia starts 6:30. I gotta go home and let the dog out. Okay. And then I did stop the vote.
See? Which is more important to you, Kevin? A bond issue or
apparently,
whatever our team is?
Listen, my vote never matters because I'm against the grain every time. That like all the old people just want to pay for everything that they want to pass, apparently. Because when I just say no to everything because they're going to get their money eventually, but I just want to drag it out. Apparently all the old people in North Royalton are just happy to just throw their money down the drain. So, hooray for the Port Authority for getting their money, and the firemen, EMTs for getting their money, and Tri-C for getting their money. I mean, great. Just great. Great on all of that. And then whatever thing I might have said yes to, it also didn't pass. So, people say, why do you go vote? And it's like, because I should, but
you'll get shamed on Facebook if you don't.
But it's just, I'm always waiting just for that one time where the vote is completely split and it's just one vote makes the difference. Right. And I can be like, ha, that was mine. You know? But so far, not even close. Never even close. Not even in my own ward, I'm always way off.
Yeah, even when like the whatever I'm voting for does pass, or whichever candidate I vote for does win, it's always like 70% to 30%. It's like, yeah, good thing they had my support helping them out then. Yeah, that was crucial. So yeah, we busted out the trivia, did some drinking and some winning because we're just super smart. Then
they're smart. I'm not. I think I got everything wrong. When they asked which president had the same last name, or two presidents that were not related had the same last name, we got it right. But my best answer was that Johnson & Johnson might have been the name of that company because of presidents.
That is true.
Which is legit. That's legit.
Well, it seems like a funky rationale. Like, what are we going to name our company? Well, we had two President Johnsons. Why don't we name ourselves after them?
Johnson & Johnson.
Well, yeah, but what does it have to do with our company? Nothing, but it would be totally cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'll look through the history and we'll find out that it was actually those two unrelated presidents who formed the company.
Yeah, the two guys from the Muppet, the two old guys from the Muppet Show that sent us back.
They'll be like, "Oh my God,
our name's
our chief competitor is unleashing a new product next month. We need to find out what Grover Cleveland Incorporated is up to.
Yes. Although I think we could have used Anderson a little bit because he knows all of those ridiculous children's things that we don't know. Although Susie did pretty good with the one. But the kid stuff, Anderson's always good with. Because he's got a kid, and he's watched all the kids stuff.
Like, I was all excited 2 weeks ago when they're like, it's going to be a theme each week. Because I was like, dude, when we get like the video game console theme.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Of course, that'll be when Kevin shows up at, 8:20 for like Final Jeopardy or something.
I will be on time this Tuesday because I don't have to work.
Kevin just walks in. Sleeve stack. What? The answer is
that'll be the day he gets hit in the head and has amnesia.
Dude, these questions this guy asks, like, they're not simple. I mean, like, what did he say? He was like, which country in World War II lost like 13.7% of its total population? I don't even know that.
See, and I was like, damn, I wish Kevin was here because he would totally be like, well,
in the beginning.
Back in.
Yeah. Hang on, I know Belgium was around 11.5%.
Like
beginning time.
Russia was close to 25. Ukraine took a beating, but the answer is Poland.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Poland.
Japan had nuclear bombs dropped on it, so who knows what that mattered to them. And firebombed. But, like, you're supposed to know, like, these questions are hard, and you can't use your phone if anybody's thinking, oh, just look it up on my phone. Although, they're really not checking that hard. I think some of our competition is totally cheating. At bar trivia. It's my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, you got to be pretty low to cheat at that.
People are low.
Like, I mean, if your life is that pathetic,
well, it is Park Tavern.
I don't even know what you mean by that statement.
Just kidding. But whenever I read the police blotter, there's always something going down.
There's never anything
at the Park Tavern. There always is. Are you kidding? There's always.
I have never seen or heard of an incident at the Park Tavern.
A fight in the parking lot. Some guy trying to break in at the middle of the night.
So today, in addition to watching the Browns, Soprano Rob stopped by, so now I officially have a
Soprano Rob
gaming table for when nobody comes down to play games.
Sorry.
True.
Yay for the game table. Well, when you decide to have a game, Larry, I'm not looking forward to it, but I will attend.
So you got miniatures and stuff.
Well, it'll be the hardest game ever. We won't get any loot.
At level 1, here comes the Kobold Army.
Rusty weapons.
No.
You get one ballista, but it's on fire.
Piece of flint.
Yeah. That breaks.
No metal that you can knock it against, just a piece of flint.
Okay, you have defeated the mighty warlord Tyrannus. You loot him and find 5 silver pieces and a dull knife.
Yeah, right. You laugh, but that's how it is.
It was not like that.
Don't let him lie.
And if you do find something, roll for encumbrance. You can't carry that. It's totally too heavy. You're wimpy. You're weak. You can't carry anything. In fact, drop half that stuff you have. Can I have you? Let me just erase this and this. Well, can I pick what I don't? No.
I'll decide what your character decides they need.
Yeah.
Okay, now first of all, I do not typically enforce the encumbrance rules. That's because
they're a pain in the ass. That's why.
Well, and I mean, there is something to be said for like the suspension of disbelief, where
It is a fantasy game. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's a fantasy game. We don't need to get into how much you're carrying and is that going to slow you down. But you geniuses decided you were going to start looting like marble statues and throw them in your backpacks.
Well,
that's what we do.
It's like how much does my dwarf think it's worth? Well, it's probably worth 10,000, 20,000 gold. We're taking it. I'm like, it's like a half ton.
Yeah.
2 of us can carry it though.
Yeah, we got a wheelbarrow. I'd say we got a wheelbarrow, but it'll be full of termites.
Because we didn't have anything else to loot. We were desperate at that point. We had gone through this dungeon. We needed something to bring back. We would have.
Damn it! We're taking his castle. So one person on each corner. We'll just carry it to town.
We would have skinned the dead bodies in order to sell them as leather or something to make some money. Not that we could have bought anything. You'd probably think the town not have anything for sale.
Or it's like what's that?
There's nothing for sale anyplace.
What color's
No
that armor?
stores, no food, nothing.
Is a color in that armor purple? Yeah, that means it's epic. You can't afford it.
Dull wooden knives.
Okay, so I can afford the armor that's got a gray tag. Yeah, dude, this has got a hole in it. Well, yeah, over the chest. Well, the last guy that had it, he had a problem. Yeah, evidently.
Okay, you might want to wear that like backwards.
While you're trying
This armor
to
has
shop,
breasts, dude.
15 dark elves descend upon you.
Yeah. At the
Riding
Kmart
dragons.
there in, Fantasyland. You go to change your clothes in the changing room. There's a giant spider.
Yeah.
I close the door. That's one thing Larry has no like. You're like Larry. I close the door, and he's like, "Well, okay, we move on then," because he just doesn't have any riposte against not wanting to get eaten by creatures, especially when the music changes. There's like, "Oh shit, he's changing the fucking music." Now hold on, guys. That doesn't mean anything's wrong. Then he looks at you, and you're like, "This is gonna be bad." Okay, so the music starts up. Yeah, we're not going in there.
Totally not going in that room.
Lord Soth is staring at you.
Fucking
We close the door.
clean off.
Lord Soth is sad. Fuck. I guess
I've got that one zombie game, but you'd have to get there a little bit early to put the characters together, and basically you're playing yourself. Yeah, and then everybody that's playing with you has to vote on whether or not, like let's say Don decides that he's got like 4 stamina. And we're like, no, dude, you're clearly a 2, because it's like 1 through 5.
Hey,
You know, it's like, no,
I used to play soccer.
just stop. We don't care about who you used to be, man. Jesus Christ.
Right.
We're all sitting there, you know, getting bushwhacked.
Yeah,
by
but
fucking
then
creatures.
how much fun is that game? Because you wind up with
I'm certain it
4
could be a fucking.
dudes that have
I'm
a
certain it could be a
1 in
fucking
everything
ball,
trying
man.
to fight off zombies.
I'm certain it would be fucking fantastic to see how everybody would survive, you know, because they've got like a bunch of shit. There's got like 4 different books of like aliens attack, if nature attacks, you know, it's all this different shit. Like it's the end of the world, it's all end of the world shit. And then they got one for zombies, and they got all different kinds. Like they got one where you shoot the zombie in the head and absolutely nothing happens. It just keeps coming at you. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So it would be like that game where your character, my character, were hanging from the barbed wire upside down. You know, while dogs. Kevin's fucking. Did you roll? Did you bring this tool with you?
Yeah.
There's no fucking special forces kit where you just.
Kevin's game where even though we were like highly trained Navy SEALs, I think I like broke my wrist trying to like tie my shoe or something.
Yeah.
I failed the roll.
Every fucking important roll, and we couldn't shoot shit. Everything we shot at was clearly not the enemy. In fact, I think one of us shot each other by mistake.
That was
like,
some fun shit when like you
it was
guys
funny.
were half paralyzed and you were trying to get through the village.
I think the most fun was when Donnie, or not Anderson, but Cease was there.
Cease.
Yeah, and he got a little drunk, and he's just like, "What's over here by the edge of the table?" I'm like, "Ah!" Because he had little miniatures and shit. So he just fell off, and he was going ape shit.
That's the one with Brian's scarecrow suit and the can of Blask.
Yes.
Scarecrow suit and Blask. The Scarecrow suit, I'm just guessing, was some sort of like something to hide in. But the Blask, I'm like, there's that flask. And I looked at you guys, and you're immediately like, just unasked me. You're like, no, don't ask us. We got no fucking clue.
I have no idea what your drunk ass will grow a month
I'm
ago.
like, Jesus. It's like, it started off sober because I could see my stats, but then things got a little blurry when I got down to equipment. I'm like, I don't know what this says. Well, better figure it out.
Neither do we.
I'm pretty sure it says whatever we really need right now.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Okay, Larry, anything else?
Nah, that's all I got.
I gave out candy for Halloween, and
Did you? The kids come and just stare
we
at
give
you?
out full-size candy bars, and kids
Man,
come.
I'm bringing my
and
kid to your house next year.
one little girl was like telling her brother, she's like, "This is why I come all the way over here because this." It's like, okay, you
When he
knew
goes to
that I
sleep
was
tonight,
going to
we're
give
gonna kill him.
large
guy's the
size
bomb.
candy bars. I have plenty left over if you want any. I expected more kids, but all of a
He'll
sudden
have it there for like the next 6 months.
the weather was freezing cold, so I got like half the kids, so I have like about 50 full-size candy bars
It was cold.
left in the house. Yeah, it was
It
dumb.
was chilly. That was.
I refuse to say that it's cold because I know that shit's just waiting.
It was crisp.
That's about it, really. I mean, I got my car's oil changed, and I got a video game, and I'm playing that Prey, and it's fun. I saw that Skyrim VR has been announced for PlayStation VR, and I'm not buying Skyrim again. As much as I would probably like to play that, I'm not buying Skyrim again. I'm not doing it. I have 4 fucking copies of that game that I don't really care for it as much as, like, say, Oblivion or Elder Scrolls Online, and yet that's the one I have the most copies of. They're not going to get me with a 5th. Fuck them. They can make a new copy of a new Elder Scrolls game.
They probably should. I mean, I know they got the online game, which I'm still playing, but there's very different graphics. They really should probably, get a new one because I've heard that because I mean, what was it? Fallout 4 was a complete surprise. I don't think anybody was expecting that bitch to come out, and also I was like, oh look.
Right. No, I agree. I mean,
it was like we're gonna have that like no time. It's like, ooh.
They were making fun of it on one of those things online. They were like saying like Skyrim on your watch, like that'll be the next thing. No, I just can't do it. But I do really kind of want to do the VR thing with that. But no, I'm not playing the game again. It'll just kill me.
Yeah, it's a long game. That's why.
It's just a lot of walking.
It's not like you have to do the walking, man. I mean, it's not like
in VR you kind of do. And the dragon comes down for the 80th time. You're like, Jesus Christ.
That's always suck when you're about to go talk to somebody. You're tired. All of a sudden you hear that. Oh, you're like, oh. Can't you fuckers fight off your own dragon? There's a whole city full of warriors, for God's sake. Magic users and all sorts of bullshit. This town's got all these super warriors, the fellowship of whatever the fuck they were called. Don't they fight?
There's just some stuff as well. They just need to balance some things out. Like you collect all of these potions that you basically never use for anything.
The potions? Oh yeah, you use potions. You just got to just.
I don't know why. What for? You can kill everything
it is kind
really
of useless
easily.
when you get a really high level. Then that's just like, oh. I know in Oblivion you got a high level. They were pretty badass, but the thing that I hate about all these Elder Scrolls games is every single time they make a new one, there's less shit really that you don't have to quite. There's like, oh, it's all this open world. I'm like, yeah, not so much compared to like the earlier games where the graphics suck, but goddamn, every goddamn NPC will sit there and have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, and I got Doom for the Switch, but I haven't played it yet. And so, yeah.
When is the Skyrim going to come out for the Switch?
Very soon. Next week.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, PlayStation VR, I might get that eventually, but because I actually own some games that were on sale for VR, but the Black Friday sale is supposed to give you Skyrim and the headset for $350, which is not bad, but
Christ, I gotta fucking work Black Friday.
I can't do that shit. Can't buy it again. Just wait. That's about it. Some car stuff. Nobody cares. Let's do our drinking game for the last 17 minutes of the show. If you've never played before, basically we're going to read off the Metro News out of Cleveland and Akron, and if someone's been shot, you have to drink. Not necessarily die, just shot. And
we don't want
if it happens on the east side of Cleveland, you have to drink. And if Jennifer Cha-Cha happens to be the person that announces it, or any other crime, drink.
Yeah.
Oh, I did get like I ordered the new Xbox, the Xbox One X, and Amazon lost it in Euclid somewhere.
That's not surprising.
They had to send me another one. Yeah, I know. It's real great. It's like, it just, like at 1:45 in the afternoon, I got this message, we've lost your Xbox. Call us, and we'll make it right. So I call them up, and they're like, well, I can give you your money back or send it to you again. It's not quite making it right, but since I ordered the thing, I'd like to get it, so just send it again.
So what's so special about the new one? Because I just, we got
rolling
the
effing dice. It's
Xbox One came out not that long ago.
It's more powerful. It's like the PlayStation Pro was like, 50% more powerful or something. And so now Microsoft had to make theirs 50% more powerful than the PlayStation Pro. So it's like it supports 4K and it has like more memory. It's like it is a significant upgrade, but because of whatever weirdness that Sony and Microsoft have with developers, games that are written have to work for both. So all you'll get is more visual, like, extras. Like, there'll be more foliage in the background or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
more trees for you to get stuck on.
Your frame rate might be better and everything, but there's not going to be, so far, for either console, there's not going to be an exclusive game that just takes advantage of the power of either system. So, if you don't really have a 4K TV, don't upgrade. That's my advice. Right. That's my advice. That's my advice. Okay. Back to drinking. An Ohio judge is trying to decide how to deal with a man who has been diagnosed with autism and has repeatedly violated his probation for sexual battery by asking women to touch their belly buttons.
Nice. We don't have belly buttons.
Burrier, 29, pleaded guilty Wednesday to a probation violation after he asked a female jogger if he could see her belly button. He had been convicted of sexual battery in 2011. Is that really bad? It's creepy, but he's asking permission to just see her belly button. I could be drunk and just ask a woman that at the bar or something. Can I see her belly button?
You would be guilty of battery.
I guess. I
don't think that asking somebody to see their belly button is considered battery, but, these days...
I mean, if he touched it, if he,
like, really just out, better off just, like, backing away slowly.
If he just, like, he was like, boop, or something when he touched it, then maybe that's a problem. But, I don't know. It's kind of weird. The judge must decide whether to send Burrier back to prison or to treatment. That's not going to be good for him if he has to explain to other prisoners why he's in there. Or to a treatment program for sex offenders. Prosecutors say Burrier isn't autistic and that earlier treatment didn't change his behavior.
Autistic.
Do you have the internet? I mean, there's a lot of belly buttons on the internet. Can't you just look at the belly buttons on the internet?
You just have to come outside and ruin things for the rest of us looking at belly buttons.
And you got the woman's trying to jog. She's like, "Who's this guy? Get out of the way." What do you like? Jog up next to her? Hey, can I see your belly button? Oh my God, I'm calling the police.
Freak.
Fairfield.
I kind of get it. Like, if there's kids around, you want them to see them.
I understand. It's creepy. You don't want some creepy guy asking you to see your belly button. I don't know if it deserves.
No, a good-looking guy though, that'd be different. I'm sure.
But prison for that.
That is a bit weird. But then again, I don't know that guy's true story, so it's one of those things. Like, okay, I don't care.
It's like it starts with belly buttons and it escalates from there, man.
It's a slippery slope, man.
It goes to wieners.
Oh my God.
Fairfield, Ohio. Police say 5 people have been stabbed in a nightclub brawl north of Cincinnati.
Oh.
I only brought this one up because stabbing 5 people takes a lot of work, and we should give credit to the guy for being able to stab 5 people in succession.
And not get caught.
Yeah, I mean, because those people are just kind of like, they're probably aware, at least by the second, potentially the third person, people are going to start backing up. Somebody's going to be like, I've been stabbed! You know what I mean? So at that point, getting those other 2 people is it's difficult, right? I mean...
Right. Hey, this dude's stabbing people and somebody's still standing there.
Right. And then he's going to get stabbed, you're not going to, like, try to turn around and be like, oh. Jesus.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Officers say they found some people with stab wounds at the nightclub, while other victims showed up at nearby hospitals. Police haven't released any information about what led up to the brawl that started in the nightclub and spilled into the parking lot.
And knives were used.
Yep.
Some dude just walks by, just happens to be stabbed.
Heck,
it's like, oh yeah, I was part of this. Yeah, I was involved in this.
You know, the other day when we had the shooting that went on in Texas, and that whole weekend where everybody was flipping out on the internet, I didn't know anything about it. I completely didn't see it on my news or nothing, and I don't really watch TV or weekends. I would kind of just fade the fuck out, except for video games. I had no clue until like Monday.
They all blur together at this point.
I'm like, what the fuck was going on, man? Christ. All the gun control friends of mine immediately they don't even wait for the bodies to get cold. They're just like, and now we got to get rid of the guns. I'm like, I'm sure people are still going to kill themselves. They go crazy. I'm like, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because I don't really care. Because I haven't been shot. If I had been shot, that would have been a way different story. But,
You would have cared.
Oh, completely. But now it's like,
it wasn't me.
Yeah, I hate to be a mercenary about it, but yeah, just kind of don't care.
I get it.
Cleveland man is charged with aggravated murder in a deadly shootout. Drink. In the city's St. Clair Superior neighborhood.
Drink.
Also a drink. Terrence Lanier, 19, is charged in the February 26 killing of Tyrese Neal. According to court records, Lanier was arrested about noon Wednesday, shortly after detectives obtained a warrant for his arrest, records show. His first court appearance has not been scheduled. Neal, 20, was shot in the head while he was sitting in a stolen car on East 72nd Street near Donald Avenue. Didn't know there was a street named after you, Don. But
I know exactly where it's at.
Witnesses heard nearly 24 gunshots during the shootout, according to a police report. Not unusual for that era. One witness said the shooting began about 11 p.m., shortly after she spotted several men sitting in a 2008 Honda Accord. One of the men got out of the car and ran away after the shooting stopped, the report says. The Honda Accord then rolled down the street and came to a stop against a curb. Officers arrived minutes later and found Neal slumped over the steering wheel, the report says. Cleveland EMS paramedics took him to University Hospitals, where he died 2 days later. It's good friends that you have. They're just like, they see you get shot in the head, and they're just like, well, I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm running.
Well, I mean, if there was a lot of bullets flying, it might be kind of harder to go in there and be the hero. You don't want to get your fucking cap peeled back.
No, I mean, it was already over, and he just,
Street
then he
lingo.
took off. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, 90s street lingo, It's a little throwback to the real shit,
Peel your dome back, yo.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Sorry.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm sorting through these here.
Oh.
3 former employees of an Akron group home passed state background checks and had not been disciplined before they were accused of beating a developmentally disabled man with a broomstick. Company's
Discipline. Get over here, time for your spanking.
ViaQuest, a Dublin, Ohio healthcare services provider, fired 3 employees after learning of an investigation that resulted in criminal charges related to an October 23rd incident at a group home on Cliffside Drive in Akron. The police spokeswoman said Friday in a phone interview with Cleveland.com. You got 3 workers in like this thing. They're all together, and they decide that they're going to beat this old guy with a broomstick. That old guy must have been a real dick. You know what I mean? Like, you got to piss off all 3 of your healthcare workers that much that they're going to, assault you like that. You just got to imagine that guy's like, fuck you.
If he's that old, why do you need 3 guys to do it?
This is true.
Just really didn't like him. We're just as shocked as everyone else and heartbroken by the allegations that have been made. Oh, said Emily Stickley, the company's vice president of human resources. We as a company had no indication they would behave in the manner as the alleged in the incident. Dominic Gladney, 23, is charged with felonious assault, abduction, and assault in the case. Octavius Tomlinson, 43, and Menyon Davis, 26, are charged with felonious assault and abduction, according to Summit County Sheriff's Office. Gladney was a home manager at the facility, and Thomason was a project manager. The Sheriff's Office said Davis was identified only as an employee. Court records show that the incident happened October 23rd, but the Sheriff's Office learned of the allegations October 26th after it was contacted by the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. What, so the people at the hospital think for 3 days were like, oh, his face looks really black and blue. That's fine, it's just normal. The Sheriff's Office then notified the Summit County Development Disabilities Board, which contacted ViaQuest. All right, this is too long. It's written terribly. I'm going to move on.
Okay.
I thought this one was just kind of ironic. Toledo, Ohio. A woman crashed her SUV into a home next door to a house that was on fire. Then tried to run from the scene
Well, you'll have that.
while wearing no pants. Yeah, so
That's not even a shocker, you know? That's the problem. There's
I
nothing
would
to surprise
probably
me.
move out of my neighborhood at that point. Like, one house is on fire, somebody drives into the house next to it, and then runs away with no pants on. It's time to move.
It's like, oh, okay. never mind.
Normal for Toledo? That's what you're about to say? I understand.
No, I was gonna say it was like the old days of the apartments in Oakwood, with Clint hanging out with no shirt on and stuff. You'd be like, why does he have no clothes on?
Firefighters
Sorry.
already were on the scene of a house fire Wednesday night when the incident occurred. You ever wonder about that? Like, those stores that are like, no shoes, no shirt, no service. Like, why? Why exactly? Is it just because those guys that come in with no shoes and no shirt are they an
Health code.
are they a problem at the register or something when you're checking them out? You're like,
Evidently.
we can't. We can't.
You ever be standing behind somebody at a convenience store with no shoes on? They're sitting there with no. You're like, why? You can't even put shoes on.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
Like,
talk
man-
to them at that point. I'd be like, you know what? They're operating on another level.
I'm not giving you
And then
service because you got no shirt.
That's
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
don't
saying. It's like, how
wanna
you
fuck with
supposed
people
to
like
go,
that, you know?
Mister, you need to go outside and put your shoes on before I sell you that pack of gum.
Wow, it's just
The guy might pull out a fork and start stabbing the guy to death, you know? Just-
it's completely inappropriate, but it's still just awkward. Like, the guy just wants to buy something, just sell him something.
Right? Get them out quicker.
Kettering, Ohio. A high school
Kettering?
substitute teacher is facing charges after being accused of having sex with 2 students and sending
Jesus
nude photos, reports say. Madeline Marks, 23, a substitute teacher for Kettering and Oakwood schools in the Dayton area, is facing 2 charges of sexual battery. A judge said Marks could be released on her own recognizance after appearing in court Thursday, but she must live with her father while the investigation continues. Marks was arrested at Kettering Fairmont High School and taken to jail Wednesday after school officials became aware of the inappropriate relationship with 2 11th graders. Immediately,
Now, see, and that,
oh, okay.
11th.
go ahead.
Immediately, the administration began to investigate and also called Kettering police, who were very quickly brought in a detective. Kettering City School
Oh,
Superintendent
yeah. I'm sure you had to be right
Scott
there.
Inskeep tells the Daily News, "We have a full-time resource officer at the high school also, and they began their investigation." Court documents obtained by the Daily News show Marks admitted to investigators that she sent nude photos to one of the students using Snapchat and Instagram. She is accused of having sex with one of the students in July in the parking lot of a Big Lots store and with another student in September in an apartment complex parking lot. This keeps happening, and I just don't understand why it didn't happen to me when I was
Exactly.
in school. Because, no, I'm fine that it didn't, though. We had no attractive teachers.
We didn't.
There was none.
No, not even. Oh,
Not even a little.
no.
No, it really wasn't.
It did happen at school I went to, but I went to Catholic schools with nuns and priests, so it was not nearly as much
That kicks it
fun
up a notch, though, doesn't it?
as what we're talking about right now.
Not in the same
Am I-
ballpark.
Don't get me wrong. In my elementary school, my principal was he got fired and stuff for having. He was touching people though. He was touching boys, So it's like, yeah, that kind of happened, but it wasn't really what everybody wanted to do.
Right.
Whereas this is like 17-year-olds going like, this girl's 23 and she wants to have sex with me. I'm in.
You know all that
Literally.
all that Harvey Weinstein stuff that's going on right now, where every celebrity in the world's pointing out every possible wrong that happened to them in their life.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Whether it's real or not.
Hope Solo, that soccer player, goalie chick, was
Right.
talking about how like the president of FIFA or something that's like 80 years old smacked her on the ass. And I just thought to myself, like, that is the bravest man ever. Because Hope Solo's the woman who like went to a family barbecue and punched out 2 family members and got arrested for it. And then
Nice.
like they've had the police at her husband and hers place like twice for brawling with each other.
She's got squarer shoulders than me.
Yeah, she is a she
Not that I'm
is
stronger enough.
she would knock that old man out. That's a weird woman to smack her on the ass. That's all I got to say. I'm just saying she's not dainty.
Right.
I had to tell somebody that story. I know somebody out there is going to be mad now that I'm making fun of sexual harassment or something.
Let's just say this: at least because they got Louis C.K. You seen that one?
Right, yeah.
Where at least he just came out and was like, "Yeah, you know what? I did do that. You're absolutely correct."
He's
like, "I did."
He did ask permission whenever he did.
Right,
it was awkward.
He always told the women. He was always like, "Hey, you know what? Is it all right if I pull my dick out?"
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Inappropriate, but
Yeah.
and if they said no, he didn't do it. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, so with him, I'm not sure what the problem is. For me, I think the strangest one might be the whole Kevin Spacey thing, where he's like, I don't remember doing that, but it kind of sounds like me.
yeah.
So
Right,
maybe
right.
I did it, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that sounds like that's par for my course."
Yeah, I totally don't remember it, but yeah, I can totally see me doing that.
Yeah, I think some of this dilutes the fact that like Weinstein was like basically saying, "I can make and break your career if you sleep with me," which is a big difference
Right.
between,
That
Sleep with me or don't have a career.
well, or just like would you mind if I just pull my penis out right now because it'd be okay. You know what I mean? Like it's just they're just different things, But
yeah.
and I think it kind of dilutes it when we're getting into these B-list actors and stuff. Like, there's a guy from Prison Break, that like looked up somebody's dress or something. I'm like, really? Like, we can't stop teachers from fucking students. All right, we're not going to clean up Hollywood right now with all of their bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, we have other things that we
Right?
rarely.
Let's just
I mean,
concentrate on
I understand
harassment.
this. I'm not saying it's a non-issue. I'm
No, of
just saying
course, right?
Do we focus on this, or do we start working on,
Yeah.
maybe getting more in depth? Like realize like a lot of that shit that went out was from another generation, and they're on the way out. I mean, there are a lot of dudes that are just really old, and they're gonna die soon. It doesn't mean that what they did is right. It just means you have the good fortune of knowing you probably won't encounter that anytime ever again.
I just think keep it focused on harassment. It's not to say you shouldn't report on stuff, but I mean, we're just really reaching into the bottom. I'm Corey Feldman talking about rapes and shit that happened like 40 years ago.
and then Rose McGowan and stuff. It's like, you know what? You dated Marilyn Manson. Shut up.
Yeah, there's some people that should just immediately be, I don't want to say discounted, but they're going to be held on another level of,
I mean, I get that Rose McGowan
Scrutiny.
was raped, and that's
Yeah.
bad. But she took
Yes.
money. She took money over it, and it's kind of like, why'd you take the money?
All of a sudden, that's not rape. That's prostitution.
It's not
Right.
It's just, don't take the money. I mean,
Okay, it makes us wonder. Makes
Yeah.
us question.
Yeah, we weren't there, so what do we know?
I know.
Finally, our last one. A teenage, because we have to have one where you drink. A teenage girl was shot, Thursday night in Cleveland's Mount Pleasant neighborhood, police said. Where's Mount Pleasant? Oh, it's on the east side. The 14-year-old girl was shot in the leg just before 9 p.m. in the 3600 block of East 116th Street, Cleveland police said. The girl, whose name was not immediately given, was taken to Rainbow Babies Children's Hospital for treatment. Good choice in hospital. That's why she lived.
Luckily, that's right.
Authorities did not provide a reason for the shooting. There was one article here that I didn't get to, but it was about this guy that escaped police custody because he was at Metro Health, and they finally arrested him. And I'm thinking, yeah, he left Metro Health because he was trying to survive while he was there, and now he's got to go back, and we'll find out that he died. All right, that's it for the show. We'll be back next week with more, and good night.
Late.
Oh, peace. Okay, that was quick.
Yeah.
I was like, screw it, I'm done.
Yeah. Vaya con Dios, Christ. Later, guys.
Later.